Couple of folks waiting.
Do I? I'm trying to get over to it. Yeah. Hey, y'all, who's here? Probably just me and Charlie. Hello, Suzanne. How are you? How are you? Let me give people a few minutes to show up. What's the weather like where you are? Flood watch. How many inches have you got? We had a storm that rolled through last week that gave us 2 inches in one storm. Our garden's in high gear with take over the yard high gear. Mikey, hey, been enjoying your videos. I've got a couple queued up I need to go see that you posted between last evening and now. I've been going nuts. I had to take both the dogs to get their rabies shot. I had a customer drop by wanting to pick peppers. I told him if he came by, I'd give him pepper plants. I didn't understand that he wanted the pepper pods. They're not quite ready, but we visited a bit. What else did I do today, Charlie? We ran to the store and got chicken scratch. What kind of squash do you have, Suzanne? Okay, so Suzanne, you and one other person won live plants, right? I think it was G Mama. What did I do with that list? Anyway, I have not sent out the live plants yet because, frankly, I'm kind of scared to do it in the heat. I'm afraid they're going to be baked by the time they get to you. And since you're not watching the news, we're looking at strikes with people with package delivery, people going on strike. And it would be my luck to mail those pepper plants out and have the delivery people go on strike, and you would not get the plants until they were long, crispy. So I don't know what to do. I've got to get them to you if you're going to get any type of harvest. Oh, okay. Turnip greens. Do you cut the greens off, Mike, and leave the turnip so it can produce more greens, or do you pull the whole plant? So I've got an itinerary for tonight, and I'm hoping that more people would show up. So who all's here? Me and Charlie, Suzanne, and Mike. Is there anyone else in the room that could say hello? And that's Brucey. You hear him? That's his voice. Hey, Tiffany, how are you? Did you get your package yet? Charlie went to let him out because he'll stand there and holler. Okay, so Tiffany, I sent that on Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days. Squirrel Girl, hope she pops in, see if she got hers yet. Who all got won prizes with the last thing? Yeah, Mike, I sent you your cookbook. Has it come yet? Oh, he's in the bushes, he said. So Dark Lord got vanilla beans. Cindy in Canada got vanilla beans, and Tiffany got vanilla beans. And Suzanne, I sent you the cheese slicer. Any sign of it yet? Chunk the Groundhog is busy posting videos. Have y'all ever watched Chunk the Groundhog? He's so funny. Well, it should be there. I would think tomorrow or Saturday, wouldn't you think, from Atlanta? If you're in the United States, five or six business days. It's not like it's a busy time of year for mailing things. Y'all want to see what's keeping me really busy and crazy? Making me lose sleep and not know what day it is or what time it is because I grab naps. Be right back. Charlie, type something and entertain them, will you? Here I am. You mailed me something. What is it? What is it? Am I going to have to wait for a surprise? Can I mail you one of these, Tiffany? No reaction. This is my recent distraction. You know, I keep saying I'm not going to do this. And every time I say it out loud, more appear. How many of you ever handled an opossum? I got a dozen of them. Hey, David. One of your favorite creatures here. Wish I had you here. I'd train you on how to care for them. I'm still helping them use the bathroom. But I've got two different litters, and the ones from this litter are eating on their own, and the smaller ones that I've had probably 10 days longer are starting to eat because I've got them all together. But I think I'm going to separate the smaller ones because they're not thriving like these guys are. And once they get so I don't have to help them use the potty, I'll stop handling them. I'll sneak in while they're asleep and put food in, clean their cage. And by the time they're ready to go at the end of August or mid-September, they'll be mean. And when they see me, they'll snarl and growl. And maybe I'll get that on film to show you what they should look like before you release them. But anyway, you going to bite me? They're just not getting teeth. Just not getting teeth. So let me put them back in bed. So, y'all remember Susie? Remember Susie, who was on? She's my mentor that allows me to rehab these things. She called. See, the last live was 2 weeks ago, and I told you all then that I'm done with possums. I'm done with rehab. Once we got the snake home that had to have surgery, and that was going to be it. Well, I shouldn't have said that out loud because that was Thursday, right? So on Friday, I get this call from Susie, and she says, Lisa, there's a lady in Lawrenceville, which is the next town, and she's got 5 baby possums. You're their only chance. So what are you going to say to that?
No.
Doggy all over you, Charlie?
Yeah.
So then, this was like at midnight, and then she says, I've got someone who'll bring them to you. What am I going to say? So she brought me 5 babies, 2 of which didn't make it. They were infested with maggots. The 3 that I have, they'll do fine for a couple of days, and then they drop off, and then they do fine. And right now, they're not as hydrated as I'd like to see them, but they are growing. And then on Sunday, this past Sunday, I get this email. Hey, my name is Jen. Are you the crazy possum lady? And I sent back, that depends. Jen, what do you need? And she says, I just pulled some joeys off a dead mom. And this mutual friend of ours that happens to be my veterinarian said to contact you, that you're the crazy possum lady and you'll take the babies. So I said, will you tell this mutual friend that if there's anything wrong, she's treating them for free. And she did. We had one that had a missing flesh from around his leg. And before I could get to her, I was treating it with neem, and he gets antibiotics. And I brought him in to show her, and she looked at him and she goes, wow, they're healthy. These babies' mom was a great mom. She really produced the milk. They were fat and sassy and healthy, except for this one male. And the doctor told me that I'm doing exactly what she would do. That she's got more experience than I do with possums. I said, yeah, but you've got the MD or the DVM, and you earn the big bucks, right? So I've got to get a dewormer for the teeny tinies that are only like that big. See if I can get them to thrive. It's the only thing she could think of why they're not thriving. So here I am. I'm a mom again, and we were able to release the snake. Those of you who watch my videos, and I hope you all will watch them, saw the video. I think it released, didn't it, Charlie? Releasing the snake. I think I released it right away. So he's back in the garden being a snake. He was in no hurry to get out of my hands or to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the rat snakes are so mellow and laid back. So I'm going to go down this itinerary because we've got 6 people here. And the first thing, other than welcoming you all to tonight's live stream, and I really appreciate your time and your interest, is to talk about what do we have going on in the garden. And I'll tell you what's going on in my garden, and I'm hoping that you're going to jump in and talk about what's going on in yours too, and we can share. You got your butter cutter, David. That's what I was just asking. Had anybody gotten what I sent? So David's got his thing. I sent it Monday. What do you think of it, David? That's real pewter, isn't it? So while he's answering, I'm going to talk to you about cucumbers. Now, we planted foot-long Asian cucumbers. And white cucumbers, I think I got from Baker Creek. And what else? What other kind of cucumbers? the Punakira that Mike is growing, and that we grew the first couple of years we were here, that were wonderful. For some reason, I can't get them to grow. They'll come up and then they fizzle. But we have the yard long and the white cucumbers and some sort of cucumber from Eastern Europe that I got from that Ukrainian seed company. And that's about burned out already. So I think I'm going to replant the cucumbers for the second round. We've got plenty of time between now and November for them to produce. We had some English custard squash, which I believe I did a video on that. I don't know if it's released yet, but it looks like a cup with a fringer on the edge. It's yellow. It's delicious, but it produced maybe 4 or 5 squash before the vine borers got it. We've got tomatoes coming out our ears. I've got 2 upcoming videos on what we made with the tomatoes. Please keep an eye out for those. We have the tromboncini squash coming in, and I had a video I posted on giving one to a friend of mine who dropped by, and it was a short if you want to look it up, or maybe it was a video. Maybe it was more than a minute long. She had no idea what to do with it. I'm hoping she'll come in tonight. Her name is Doa. And if Doa comes in, we'll have to ask her how did she use it. She's from East Africa, and she had all these ideas on how to use it. So I can't wait to hear what she did, and I'm going to copy her. Okay. A few of my neighbors have their plants in a bind and say my yard is too ugly to look at because I let it grow for pollinators. Oh, David, just, you're not in an HOA, and if there are no ordinances for your town forbidding you to grow food in your front yard or in your yard, then you tell your neighbors what I tell mine, and that is if you're going to pay for my mortgage and my taxes and my power bill, then you have a say in what I do, but otherwise you don't. Okay, we have no HOA here. We're kind of rural. We're the last neighborhood before we go into a rural county. Don't look. If you don't like it, don't look. Yeah, David, I don't understand people. Where do they think food comes from? And you're making the planet healthier by growing things. So if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm here. I've been there, but I stand up to people. Code enforcement keeps, they were getting called pretty regularly here, and they came out and they said, keep on keeping on. So we had a huge tromboncini squash in one of our long hallways with the trellis that goes over the top of the hallway, and we had a tromboncini that was a good 3.5 feet long. And when I was giving a tour today to the 2 gentlemen that came by for peppers, this squash was on the ground, and I went over and picked it up. And evidently our groundhog is back at it. Last year we had all sorts of chayote squash coming, and it was all like that big. And the groundhog went up on the trellis and bit every single one off the vine. When we went out one day and they're all on the ground, well, it chewed through the top of the tromboncini, and I've got to remember to go get it. It's beside the garden up there. So the groundhog's at it again, Charlie. I don't know if I told you. Gardening because murder is wrong. Yes. Charlie says you pull weeds because I can't plant neighbors. Oh, we've got some very, very nice neighbors, and we have some others that are problematic. And I had to show the problematic ones a couple of years ago that I will fight back by using the same methods they use. But let's not have negativity, right? Okay, did I mention I have tomatoes? And snake gourds. My snake gourds started blooming recently. And I went out today and I've got little snake gourds that are like that long and about as thick as my finger. And I always love watching them develop. The peppers and all those 96 pepper plants that are on the hill in front have peppers in various stages around it. But the Scotch bonnets are huge this year. They really like that location. And this customer today was interested in them, and he says, "Don't you sell those to anyone else?" I said, "Well, yeah, I'm going to keep a few for myself, but they are from my seed, and they probably cross-pollinated by the looks at them and the shape, because I grew like 4 varieties last year. I'm growing 5 varieties this year, and you know, if you plant them close together, they cross-pollinate. So I'll be interested to see what color they turn out being, whether they're orange or yellow." Y'all are too quiet. Let's see. We started a bee club, and they come out every 2 weeks to learn about beekeeping. And this past Saturday, they came out to learn how to harvest honey. And Charlie can tell us about the honey harvest. You want to come over on camera, or you just want to talk off camera, honey, to tell us about your honey harvest? Did you fall asleep?
Off camera.
Off camera. He's falling asleep. So tell us about your honey harvest and how much honey did you get?
So far about 3 gallons.
At 3 gallons of honey?
3 gallons of honey. I may be able to get another gallon, but I don't know.
1 more gallon? So how many hives did you harvest for your 3 gallons of honey? Talk to us about that.
Just the one. It was the original hive.
He sounds really excited to tell you about it, doesn't he? You half asleep, baby?
Yes.
He's half asleep. He had a root canal yesterday, and he's still kind of zonked. Poor guy. Anyhow, so he got, 26 pounds of honey off of 1 hive, which is pretty good. And he could get more, but he will leave 30 pounds of honey in the hive for winter. And he said he noticed that the bees had already started consuming some of the honey they had stored, because we're heading into what's called the dearth. And the dearth is when it's a part of the summer when things are not blooming anymore for the bees to harvest from. So that's when they start eating their honey. And then we'll have a flush of fall flowers, and they'll make some more honey then, but we don't harvest that. Your experienced beekeepers, I guess we're experienced beekeepers. He's been doing this 9 years now, but he studied under a mentor a good decade before he did this. But the old timers will tell you that fall honey tastes like old socks. Now, how they know what an old sock tastes like is beyond me, but the goldenrod that they harvest from in the fall evidently doesn't make a very good tasting honey, but we leave that to the bees so they'll make it through to next year. Now we have Chef Job. Hey. I don't know if we'll be selling our honey this year, because we only have 1 hive that we're harvesting and 7 hives we're going to try to nurse through the winter. And God willing, everything will make it through this coming winter, and we'll have a boatload of honey next spring. So, but I am asking Charlie to ferment some of this year's honey into mead for medicinal purposes, you understand. And then I'm going to be fermenting, doing cranberry ferments and garlic ferments and hot pepper ferments. The fermented garlic cloves will be used medicinally as well as in cooking. And our chef here, may appreciate the grilling with the honey based. But so that's what's going on here. I've told you about the snake gourds. Oh, I planted 11 kinds of basil. Now, normally basil goes crazy. It doesn't take a lot of skill to grow basil. Throw the seed down, cover it lightly, and keep it moist, and boom, it goes. And I've had very, very poor germination. Now, I'm not sure why. We've got a lot of lemon basil up. I've got some Thai holy basil. I've got Tulsi from India, 2 different kinds. But the Genovese basil, the cinnamon basil, it's just sitting there. And I don't know why. We have had a very overcast spring and early summer with a good bit of rain, but that shouldn't really bother the basil. It should be up and going. So I think I'm going to replant because there's time to get some up and in for the fall and winter garden. Of course, once the frost starts hitting, the basil will go away. Yeah, you going to make elderberry mead this year, Charlie?
Elderberry mead. We're almost out of the last gallon.
We're out of the last gallon, yeah. So Suzanne said her basil had slow germination, but it did germinate. Yeah, is that unusual for you, Suzanne? If you're wondering what Charlie's saying there, Charlie is reflect on light. Your mother wears army boots and your father smells of elderberries. He likes Monty Python. If you know who Monty Python is. Okay. No one else want to talk about your gardens and what you have going? Suzanne was saying a little earlier that she's having trouble with too much rain and her squash all sitting in rain. Oh, this is the first year we've been able to grow Georgia candy roaster squash. Now I'm going to figure out how to cook it. It's your second year with basil. What kind of basil are you growing, Suzanne? I love, I'll pick all the basils and mix them together for a basil blend. Charlie, you going to roast it? I mean, I'm not sure. Has anyone tried the candy roasters? You can tell us, is it a sweet squash or is it better if you cook it savory? Genovese, safe seed for last season. Yeah, my Genovese basil is not doing so well. My lettuce leaf as well. But what's shocking is the turmeric came through the sub-zero temperatures. We had 7 below. And the turmeric came back. And I thought that was a tropical plant. Okay, let's talk pests. What kind of pests are you all seeing in your garden? Right now, here in Georgia and north of Atlanta, we have a huge problem with cucumber beetles and vine borers. To save our life, we can't keep a melon going or zucchini or summer squash or the softer squash plants because of the vine borers. And that's what got our English custard squash. Each plant gave us maybe 4 or 5 squash, and then I had more coming. And it seems like overnight, when I walked through the garden, they're in pots. The vines were dead. So we've tried just about everything. And if anyone has some tricks, let us know. But it's one reason that we started growing the tromboncini is those cucumber beetles can chew in those leaves all day, and the vine doesn't care. It just keeps going. And the vine borers leave it alone because of all the sharp hairs on the stem, which is irritating when you try to handle the plant, but it keeps the vine borers out. So we need to figure out how to preserve tromboncini. We do have one in the kitchen that we picked last August, and it's still good. It kind of hardened off and turned yellow, and we'll be cooking it soon, and I'll do that on camera, and we'll do an assessment on whether it tastes good at that stage. Cucumber beetles and squash bugs. I'm not familiar with, well, how do you say that? Rouge Vif Tampes. We did plant Hubbard squash near the candy roasters, and so far the candy roasters are growing fine. Hot, dry, and smoky all summer, David. Shani, welcome, welcome. Are you new? And Tiffany's back. That's good. 7 people in the chat, which is pretty good for us. I think our record is 9 people at any one time. And I would like to see like 99 eventually. Cinderella pumpkin. Okay. So it's kind of a round squash. That's pumpkin color. Is it like a sugar pumpkin? Oh, okay, Shani. I'm sorry for not recognizing you. We need all the support we can get here. We're going to be doing some giveaways in a little bit. We're talking about pests in the garden. And I've also, the next topic, a flattened pumpkin. Okay. So the squash, the vine borers and the squash, the beetles, little orange beetles that chew the leaves, are really the only 2 things that we're really seeing right now. We didn't see very many Japanese beetles, which surprises me. So those in years past have been an issue. But, and I'm surprised if they were frozen out because you see them further north quite frequently. Okay, so Joe sent you. I haven't seen Joe in a while. I need to pop into one of his lives, let him know I still love him. But between possums in the garden and working part-time and issues with my properties, preparing and trying to find new festivals to go to, and we're busy. And so if you're here from another channel, and you feel neglected by me, I do apologize. I swear. One of these days, I'm just going to spend the whole day just watching other people's videos. So Shani's in North Carolina, and she says the Japanese beetles are tearing your leaves up. Well, I wish we were closer because I've got a little creature, 12 little creatures in a cage behind me that would eat those things. So the vine borers are in your squash, but they're still producing. You're lucky. They ate through ours. Hey, Nikki, welcome, welcome. So glad to see you. If y'all don't know Nikki's channel, it's so much fun. So is the Canadian lady, Tiffany. Her channel is really growing. Did y'all see I'm over 800 subscribers? I was going to have a party. Maybe next week I'll do a surprise pop-up. And we can celebrate reaching 800. So, of course, now we're aiming at 900, right? And just a quick commercial. If you can help me with watch hours, you can go to my playlist and just click on them and let it play. You can turn the sound down, but not off. Just let that play, and that would help me out. Also, if you'll share my videos and broadcasts. As always, if you want to suggest a video or request one for me to talk about, then we can do that. Your monarchs found your milkweed. So far, the wasps are finding mine. I've got a lot of milkweed pods coming. I picked some to cook and then promptly forgot I had them and let them go back bad on the counter. That's a confession for Wind Down Wednesday, I think. So you lost your squash too, huh, Nikki? Thank you. I haven't seen any monarchs yet, but I've seen male and female swallowtail. I planted a lot of parsley that they like to lay their larvae in, but then the parsley promptly went to seed, which it's not supposed to do in its first year, but it's all gone to seed out there. Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll reseed itself. So what do we do about these cucumber beetles? Anyone have some tricks? Any ideas? say what you suggest, and I'll tell you if we've tried it. You've seen one monarch. I haven't seen any. We usually have a group of them here. I thought also that we had lost our hummingbirds, but they've shown up. Yeah, our fennel's kind of poking along. The Jerusalem artichokes are actually crowding the fennel out in our back garden. If you grow Jerusalem artichokes, plant them in a corner you can control because they will take over. I was determined to get more cucumbers this year, David, and I have them, and I'm going to be doing some creative things with cucumber recipes. I did one video already with 2 different cucumber salads, but I'm going to do cucumber fritters, an Indian recipe, someday soon. I will have to say that these European white cucumbers have a really thick skin on them. But I love the Japanese cucumbers, and I really would like to find some seed for Persian cucumbers. They're my favorite. Okay, so we've talked about cucumber beetles and squash vine borers. I really would like some tips, if anyone has some tips that actually work on controlling those pests naturally. I don't use toxins. And again, never say never regarding you getting out of rehabbing possums. Okay. Chipmunk likes cucumbers. Oh, don't evict your chipmunk. He might be looking for water. Try setting out a dish, a shallow dish of water for the chipmunk, and see if it starts leaving your cukes alone. Nikki's planted more squash, Charlie. I ordered Charlie some melon seeds. This is M.I. Gardner's fault. Talking about a second, what to plant for a second wave. And that's my next topic. What should we be doing now? Most of us who are in zones 6 and maybe some of 5 and higher, it is time for your second wave of tomatoes, cucumbers, melons, squash, your short day or your short varieties. And there goes a fire truck up the road, a ladder truck, an ambulance. They're not going hot. They went up around the corner. It always makes me nervous that it's one of my friends that something's going on. Anyway, I digress. Where was I? We walk through the garden occasionally. You have a bug squishing evening, and your thumbs turn yellow, and they stay yellow for squishing the squash bugs. So back to what we should be planning now. If you take your expected first frost date and you count back how many days do you have until right now, and then you look at your seed for the things you want to plant, whether it's the tomatoes or the cukes or whatever, and if they fall well within those days for maturity, then you've got time to start a second round of what we would consider spring garden vegetables. And they'll germinate faster right now because the soil is so warm. But instead of trying to germinate them in full sun, which you would do in the early spring, you do partial. You protect them from the heat of the summer sun, and they should come up and be ready to be put into the ground by the end of August, and then you'll be harvesting well before frost. But also, this is the time of year that those of us here in the South, at least, are looking at what we want to grow over winter. And for Charlie and I, this means our bok choy, our wong bok, our cabbage, kale, Swiss chard, are the leafy greens that we enjoy, and we'll enjoy them all winter. The collard greens, onions here we start in August and we set them out by the end of September, early October, and those should go all winter. Of course, last year we planted 3,000 onion plants, and when we had the sub-zero temperatures, they got them all. Garlic did okay, but the onions were toast. Okay. So what are you all planning for fall? How many of you in the chat have enough time to plant for a fall garden, or how many of you can even cold frame and grow through the winter? Yeah, so you're kind of what, you're zone 5, Suzanne? Zone 5? Yeah, I thought I remembered correct. I'm amazed that I remembered that. I've got a really bad memory. Okay, I am thinking about, seriously thinking, and if I do it, it'll be done by the end of the month, of organizing a collaboration. And you have to be willing to make a video, but I'm thinking that doing a collaboration on gardening hacks. So I would ask all of you who would like to participate to think about it. What can you film? What's a good gardening hack that you would like to share with other gardeners that would address a problem, or something nifty about starting your seeds early, or some type of hack using upcycled or recycled materials even. That is a money saver and a crop saver. So I'm thinking of those who will participate in this. We'll have a judging system in place, and I've got to put my head around it, of other YouTubers that are participating to vote on the videos. Which video do you like best? And then we'll have like a 3 tiers of prizes that you can win. So what do you all, hey Gwen, how are you? So I've got quite a few YouTubers in here. What do you all think of a collaboration, or also known as a collab, of gardening hacks? Is this something that would that you would like to do? And of course, people who aren't producing videos can vote for to vote for their favorite hack that they learned, and we can participate that way. Hey, Indiana Backyard Gardener, Adrian, how you doing? Did you just get here, or did you hear about my collab idea? Destination Fun, hey, welcome. Destination's brand new, and they've been watching my videos, actually watching, and it really makes me feel good to know that. So just to reiterate what I was just talking about, is I'm thinking about putting together a collaboration where participants would produce a video that they would talk about their favorite gardening hack. You know, something like reusing an old soda bottle as a slow release water or fertilizer. And then we'd all vote on which hack we think was the most interesting or the most useful, and I'd award 3 different prizes for number 1, number 2, and number 3. And if you all think if that sounds interesting, on the next couple of weeks, I'll put it together, and we can, even though we're halfway through the summer, there are winter hacks and spring hacks and things that are upcoming. So put your thinking cap on and look for my announcement. What kind of gardening hacks can you share? And I'd ask that you share 1 hack that would be something that'd be cool beans to try in our gardens. You like the idea, Tiffany? Yeah. Okay, so think about it. The next couple of weeks, I'll put it out. I spoke to Gail over at Gail Southern Living and asked her how to put a collab together, and she said that I'll have to ask my friends, you guys, to put a hashtag in your title and ask 30 friends to share. I'm going to have to give a deadline and a launch date. Ask everyone to vote for their favorite video. I asked her what words you can't say on YouTube, and luckily I don't say any of these things. I do cuss. We'll have a couple of weeks for the deadline, and the most votes will win number one. The most views will win number two. And then I get to pick my favorite for the third prize. So she's given me her advice because she puts together collaborations, and I participated in my first one with her last year and had a really good time with it. Oh, Tiffany already has her hack. Don't tell us, Tiffany. Don't tell us yet. So Destination Fun, you've been watching my cooking videos. Is there anything in particular that you've seen that you like? She's been popping up, or they've been popping up all day with comments. I think they've watched maybe a dozen of my stuff. Some of my older stuff too. It's nice. It's nice to know someone's watching you in a good way. Yeah. So that's still churning in my head, and I'll do it by the end of July, and probably ask everyone to have their videos in by the end of August, and be able to make my announcements in September. Remember, any time of year, any hack, even hacks for people in cold areas, how to, what to do with your gardens or whatever over winter. So Adrienne, what kind of pests are you seeing in your garden right now over there in Indiana? And while Adrienne's answering that, guess what I found? I found my list of herbs that you all last fall requested I do a second herb chat. So I'm going to try to do the second herb chat for my second broadcast in July, which is when? When's the next one? Actually, this is the second one. So it'll be the first Wednesday in August, I'll do the herb chat. Okay. So now I'm going to read to you the list, and let's talk about if I don't mention an herb that you would like me to look into for you, then let's add that to the list. Right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 different herbs to talk to you about. Indiana Backyard Gardener. I have something sitting behind me that would love to have those Japanese beetles. Do I need to show it again? Who wants me to show it again that would eat those beetles? Someone's got to ask me, or I'm not going to scoop them up. Okay, so back to the herbs. What I have listed is ashwagandha, blue vervain, burdock, Cuban oregano, Dark Lord Met. Hey, You gotten your package yet? Where was I? Cuban oregano, Ellen campaign, feverfew, ginseng, gotu kola. Anyone know what gotu kola is? It's for memory, but I keep forgetting to eat it. Okay, not funny. Horseradish. The honey milk thing looks interesting. Cool. You're watching how to make the apple cider? Yeah, Charlie, you need to make more apple cider. We've used it all. Wow. Stacy, hands in the dirt. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. We're talking my list of herbs that I'm going to be talking about the first broadcast in August. I got to gotu kola, horseradish, marshmallow, meadow rue, meadow sweet, milk thistle, moringa, mullein, saw palmetto, self-heal, Solomon seal, stinging nettle, turmeric, and valerian. Are there any other herbs that those of you who have been to my herb broadcast before? I think the first one we did was with Indiana Backyard Gardener. It ended up going close to 3 hours. Micro Farmer, hey, thank you for stopping by. It's wonderful to have you here. So what do you think, y'all? What kind of herbs you want to learn about? Katie's Kitchen, welcome to you. Wow, people are showing up. Let's see, it's 9:52. Yeah, thank you so much for coming by. I'm excited. This is the most people we've had at any one time in here yet. Valerian is a good one. So what other herbs? Our first herb talk was with Adrian out at Indiana Backyard Gardener, Katie, and we had a list of things to talk about, and people got so excited about it that we ended up going almost 3 hours. Now I don't know if my butt can take another 3-hour broadcast, but I'm willing to look up anything people have questions about that I haven't already covered. It was an awesome chat, and I'm still getting people watching it. Yeah, lots of our friends here, Stacy, and some new friends. I hope that will keep coming by. Katie, so tonight we've talked about what's in our gardens. Now that we're dealing with, we talked about pests and what we're doing about the pests we're having. We talked about planting a second wave of vegetables for the latter part of summer and fall, and that it's time to plan your winter gardens for those of us who are lucky enough to be able to grow year round. Herbs are a very big interest right now. And I tell you what, since I've been making my own herbal medicines and using food as medicine, my health has improved. And I had really bad health, but it has improved. Charlie's having some issues with dizziness that we're going to have to look into why he's getting worse with that. But he just had a root canal yesterday, so I'm thinking that he had this massive infection that is maybe making him dizzy. But now he's just groggy and drunk from his root canal. So Katie, she says she does companion planting. I usually do the companion planting as well, Katie. My pepper patch is beautiful. It's got mint around it, and there doesn't seem to be anything, knock on wood now that I say it out loud, right? Nothing chewing my pepper plants. I've got a little bit of fungus going on my tomatoes, but that's expected with the high heat we're having. But I planted, because Indiana Backyard Gardener suggested using Hubbard squash. Wasn't that you, Adrian? To plant around the other squash as a trap plant. Apparently it's working, and I'm getting a Hubbard. For the first time, we have Georgia Candy roaster squash, and I'm about ready to pick those. I really would like some recipe ideas. Yeah, he's supposed to be moderating, and he fell asleep over there, I think. Now he's watching other videos. I even bore my husband with my live broadcasts. You also allow hornets to airtime in my garden. Yes. I noticed on my milkweed, we've got, I call them yellow bastards, yellow jackets, all over my milkweed leaves. I walked a customer through the garden today, and I've got milkweed popped up all over the place. And as we're brushing by the milkweed, I notice these little yellow jackets, little hornets turning and looking at me. And I'm like, hey, dude, I'm sorry. Don't sting. Dark Lord says that they're the ones that matter, Charlie. Okay, so. All right, so. Come on, any other herbs that you're wondering about? Yes, wild lettuce, you use the milky substance as an opioid. I don't recommend using wild lettuce because you can OD on it very easily and cause yourself to go into cardiac arrest. Do not use wild lettuce unless you know what you're doing. Or go to a naturopathic doctor and have them make a formula out for you. You've got to know what your contraindications are. And I know people don't like to hear that, but it is one of the more dangerous herbals. And I just get all creeped out when people say, oh, use this wild lettuce for this. And then I just say prayers that they don't have an adverse effect to it. Let's just say the academic classes I have taken, every instructor has cautioned about using wild lettuce and leaving it to someone with an MD. Well, that's good, Suzanne. Tiny little bees nested in the wood of your garden bed. Are they mason bees? You know what a mason bee is? That's probably a lecture I should do sometime on a live. Adrian, once you have a wild lettuce plant in your yard, you're going to have it everywhere. Yes, Katie, if you Google wild lettuce contraindication or wild lettuce dangers and read up about it, you'll see. Also, Adrian, when was our live broadcast that we did when we talked about herbal remedies? Or was that September? So, Katie, if you go back in my library and look in September, August, September, or maybe even early October, Adrian sponsored me to talk about herbs and herbal remedies. But then I also did a live broadcast teaching people how to dive deep into researching herbs and their medicinal values and who should take what. In other words, not everyone can take an herb and have it not impact them negatively. So you need to know, depending upon your own health situations, what medications you're on, which herbs to avoid and which herbs to embrace. And it takes a little bit of skill and a little bit of practice, but you're looking for research papers. And I go over kind of a step-by-step deep dive into your initial research into whatever herb that you're looking for. It's well worth your time to sit and do that. So Nikki's saying she notices that her butter crunch lettuce had a milky substance. Yes, when your lettuces, when it starts to get hot, the lettuces go bitter, and that's the milky substance. And usually people will stop eating their lettuce when they're at that point, and let it go to seed and collect your seed for the next one. David, who is a retired pharmacist, right, David? Has wild lettuce tincture and has never used it. and he keeps it around for emergencies and replaces it every year.
Uh,
That was just a brownout. So if we go dead, it looks like all the lights in the neighborhood just went out, and I'm on a battery that will only last so long. So before there goes the ambulance down the hill. So if I go poof before we do the drawing, I'm sorry. Yeah, Suzanne's pointing out that tinctures, if it's made with alcohol, should last longer than a year, David. But the wild lettuce is such a hinky substance. Why don't you do some research for us? There goes the ladder truck. But the lights are out in the neighborhood. Yeah, I think Dark Lordman, I think I sent you my my notes from that lecture. Yeah, so if you collected the seed, Nikki, then replant it probably in September and see if you can get some lettuce through the winter. If not, it may just volunteer. No, Katie, this is I live on a neighborhood with a cul-de-sac, and a few minutes ago, a ladder truck and an ambulance went up the hill toward the end of the cul-de-sac, and now they just left in just moments. I think you all may have seen the lights flicker. Charlie's rebooting his computer, so I guess power's back on. Yeah, David, whatever you can find out, because you've got the medical background to look into that and explain it to the rest of us lay people. That would be wonderful. I'll send you a surprise gift if you'll do that, and maybe talk about it one night in here. How's that? No, seriously, Nikki, David's a pharmacist. He's got the skills to look into that. Okay, so we've been on the air for about an hour, and I sent out everyone's winnings last Monday, and I think David's the only one that's gotten his so far. Those of you who won the live pepper plants, I have not sent them out yet. I'm scared to with all the delivery issues. So it would just break my heart if you got dead plants. But I'll suck it up and send you the live plants. Hopefully in the next few days. I'll wait till after the weekend to make sure they don't sit in a warehouse on Sunday. Yeah, Dark Lord, I'm so afraid of the deliveries being slow and baking your plants. But the other stuff I sent out, and I'm really curious for our 2 Canadian friends who won the vanilla beans, how long it takes to get to them. I sent them out Monday. Didn't you win a vanilla beans, Dark Lord Net? No. Okay, let's do a drawing. Let's do a winning thing since we're speaking. Yeah, I'm gonna pad them with those little air things. You said you got the Tanzania? Yeah. Those went out, Dark Lord. They went out Monday. And David already got his, and he's in Indiana. He got what I mailed him. Oh, David, you're going to love this. When I went to the post office and I'm handing, I had like 11 things I was mailing out. And they pick the bubble envelopes up, and they start squishing them and feeling them. I said, what are you doing? And what if I have something in there that you can crumble? And I was afraid that they would break the strings on your butter thing. And they're like, what is this? This is weird. And I told them about the live broadcast and how I give things away. And these were in my kitchen drawers and didn't know what they were and never used it. They'd actually been in my family for quite a while. And they said, oh, we want it. We would have bought it from you. And I'm like, no, David Gray won it. Yeah. Yeah, don't forget the thumbs up here, y'all, and share the video. Okay, so the first thing I have here, and I will mail this to the first person looking at it that can tell me what it is. Come on, my herbal people, my gardeners. What is this?
Good luck with that one.
I'm glad it got there in good shape. That is a real antique, David. I don't know what it's worth. It's probably worth quite a bit because it is pewter. Nope, not tobacco, not kale. Charlie's laughing. He says, good luck with that one. It was a leaf this big. I folded it over, and now it's dry and crumbly. It's not collards. It's not elephant ear. It's not borage. Indiana Backyard Gardener got it. Do you have mullein, Adrian? Would you like me to send this to you? Okay, there it is. It's mullein. How do you say that? Mullein? Mullein. But Adrian won it if she wants it. If you don't, Adrian, who do you want to give it to? Smells kind of funky. I've got some burdock in the garden, David. Leaves are like huge. You have it all over your yard. So are you drying leaves, or would you like this dried leaf for me? That's probably good for a couple of cups of tea if you get a cough this fall. Or who would you like to give it to? Who wants it? Who would like to try this and keep it in your pantry, your apothecary, in case you get a cough this winter? All of a sudden, everyone's shy. David wants it. Tiffany, you don't know what it is? So what do you say about, okay, David. I gotta find a blank piece of paper. What's the date today? 7/20. Hey, it's my birthday on the 27th, y'all. Okay. You don't want it, Tiffany? Okay, Tiffany, it's mullein, M-U-L-L-E-I-N, I think is how you spell it. And you dry the leaves. It's used in the case of bronchitis or terrible cough that you can't get off your chest. It helps you control, that hacking cough that that doesn't let you rest. It doesn't taste bad in a tea, and it does work. And then you pick the little yellow blooms. It's a biennial. And so the second year of its life, it'll shoot the stalk way up in the air and produce these little yellow flowers, which we have a couple that are doing that right now. And you pick the flowers and you stuff a bottle and pour a good quality olive oil over the top. So if your children get ear infections or infections of mucous membranes, then you put a drop or two in the ear or smear it on wherever your mucous membrane is inflamed. And it helps fight the inflammation and the infection. Yeah, thank you for not asking how old I am. Thank you. So, Mike, we missed you. You have a bunch flowering. Your kids still getting ear infections, Adrian, or are they kind of past that? Thank you, Dark Lord. Thank you. Mike's been out sweating. Okay. So what else have I got dried? I have rose petals. And I am willing to put a little bag together of rose petals and a basil blend of lemon basil, Genovese, cinnamon basil. And I put those together and I either use that as a tea or I boil it and make a simple syrup out of it that's absolutely delightful. If you want a chance, and let me call up the wheel of names here that I still haven't learned how to learn to put on the screen, and I've been sent instructions, but I haven't played with it. Okay. So let's see. Where is my live? There it is. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's see. Should we do a knowledge test for the winnings of the tea, or should we just say rose tea if you want my rose and mixed basil blend for tea? Let's say rose tea. If you want to win that prize, just type in rose tea. It is 1012. I'll give you to 1014. Rose tea. And I'll put you on this wheel. Suzanne, Dark Lord, all right, where are you? Tiffany, again, it's a very pleasing tea or simple syrup. Just 3 of you? There's 12 people in here, and there's just 3 people who want these dried herbs. That's it. 1 more minute. Who in here knows how to make simple syrup? I can't remember whether I did a video on simple syrup or not. Did I? Yeah, I did. I did spearmint and rose. Adrienne? Katie, do you want Adrienne? Are you guys chiming in on the simple syrup? Don't want a chance to make some? Boiled sugar. Yeah, Mike, that depends on what you're using. When you make like the peppermint simple syrup, you don't need quite as much peppermint because it's strong. Oh, okay. You don't want to know where my mind went when I read that you're purging. I've got so bad. Simple syrup is what you feed your hummingbirds. Yes, 1 part sugar to 4 parts water. All right, so we're going to spin the wheel. No stuff. So I have Suzanne, Dark Lord, Tiffany, and Adrienne. Here we go. It's a spinning. It's a spinning. It's a spinning. And Suzanne. Yay! Okay, Suzanne, you know the drill. Just shoot me an email and remind me that you got the rose and basil blend. Okay. Next giveaway, and I'm doing this because last time you all said that you wanted some of my dried herbs. Yeah, Suzanne. So Suzanne won that. Okay, so the next giveaway I'm going to give you is it's going to be mint. I've got two kinds of mint, so I'll do two giveaways, and I'll send you enough to either add to your teas this winter, or you can use it to make your simple syrup. And as Mike said, it's going to be 50% herb to 50% sugar. So let's do peppermint first. And I grow black peppermint. So it's 10/16. You have until 10/18 to type in peppermint. And while you're doing that, I'll talk about peppermint. Peppermint is one of those amazing mints. So what does peppermint do for us? It eases digestive issues. So, you know, if you have a little bit of have a heavy meal, then you drink some peppermint tea after your meal. It'll help you digest. And they do that a lot in the Middle East, especially Morocco. They'll put peppermint leaves in a cup, and then they pour boiling water on that and put a what load of sugar in it. And everyone sips that, and that is common to serve after a heavy meal. If anyone in here gets really bad headaches and migraines, it will help you fight your headache and migraine. Of course, it makes your breath smell nice if you've been eating something stinky, right? It opens your clogged sinuses. It stimulates your brain. When I was younger and used to go on long road trips, I would chew peppermint gum to keep myself alert. It gives you energy. Surprisingly enough, you guys don't have to worry about this, but we women who are still menstruating may like to know that if you drink peppermint tea, it eases your menstrual cramps. It's true. It fights bacterial infections, and it can improve your sleep. So it's a pretty amazing herb. So if you would like some dried peppermint, type in peppermint. It's good for this great scalp shampoo. It's kind of astringent, is it? So who wants peppermint? Adrian, Nikki, Suzanne, Tiffany. Oh, Charlie, name those names. I'm in a different window.
What?
Okay, let's see. We've got Dark Lord. She's there. Tiffany's there. Suzanne's there. Nikki. Yes, it does deter mice, and also, Nikki, it can deter snakes. Snakes don't like peppermint. Any rodent doesn't like peppermint as well. Adrian. Adrian's already there. Okay, going once, going twice. I'm going to hit the trigger. Y'all ready? Okay, Tiffany. Woohoo! Tiffany! Woo! You like mint everything? Okay, so let me write down here, peppermint. Okay. We'll see you, Stacy. Thanks for stopping by. Can ovaries itch? I don't know. I bet they can. Don't give mine any ideas, please. They've been asleep a while. I don't need them to get any ideas. Thanks for stopping by, Stacy. Have a great night. All right. So the other mint that I have let's see. Spearmint. And again, if you want some dried spearmint, it's $7.20. Let's give this to $7.22. Type in spearmint. And it also is good for digestive upsets. It's really high in antioxidants. It helps women with hormone imbalances balance their hormones. It can reduce facial hair in women. So if you're one of those ladies that's a little bit fuzzy, it can help you combat that, because that fuzziness is caused by an overabundance of male hormones, which happens. It can improve memory. Charlie, I really need to remember to drink more spearmint tea then. Just like the Gotu Kola that's supposed to improve my memory and I forget to eat it. I guess I forget to do the spearmint tea. All the mints fight bacterial infections. It can lower blood sugar, and I'm diabetic. I should know this. I should drink more of it. It helps you reduce stress. This is all within used as a tea. It helps with arthritis pain. And it lowers your blood pressure. So as you can see, it's quite beneficial. So yeah, I hear you, Tiffany. Don't give my ovaries any ideas. All right, I am scrolling back to see who wants the spearmint. Dark Lord. Hello, hey LP, welcome. David, Dark Lord. David, you got problems with your ovaries? Let's see. Let's see. Dark Lord, David. Tiffany. Guess who wants in again, Charlie? Adrian. You don't mind being fuzzy? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Okay. Anyone else? You're building your tea supplies thanks to me. Yeah. Tea is a good thing. Tea is a good thing. No one else wants some spearmint for tea or for simple syrup? Do you? What kind of mint tea do you drink every day, Nikki? Yeah. Hubby loves tea. Okay, I'm going to spin the wheel. There's only three or four people on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you ready? Here we go. I swear, David, you're the luckiest person. David won. Oh, LP, you're a little late on it. Spearmint. Just a reminder, if you won something, shoot me an email. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen with your snail mail address and what you won, okay? Yankee Sister, welcome. Okay, and now If you've already won, please don't put your name in the hat. But now I'm going to offer you a blend of spearmint and peppermint. Okay? So if you want a shot at the blend, type in blend. It's 1026. Let's do this to 1028. How's that? So type in blend, B-L-E-N-D, and you get a blend of peppermint and spearmint. Blend. Adrian, Dark Lord. Blend, B-L-E-N-D, for a blend of peppermint and spearmint tea. LP. Come on, Tiffany, you want a shot at this? Yankee Sister, do you want a shot at some mint tea? Type in blend. Here she goes. And there's Tiffany. One more minute. One more minute. Yes, Mike, it does, doesn't it? I have mojito, mint, a spearmint, black peppermint, lemon balm. Did we try any lemon balm, Charlie?
It's wild back there now.
Okay, but you had some drying on the deck, right? Did it go bad in the rain?
Yeah, I think so. But we can harvest more.
Okay. Anyone else? There's 12 people in here. Come on, this is all dried and put in glass jars in my kitchen and ready, so you don't have to dry it yourself. Okay. I am going to spin the wheel. Everyone ready for this? Be nice if I'm in the right window to do that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Tiffany! Woohoo! Tiffany gets the blend. So Tiffany, you got peppermint and the blend. All right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yay! Woo, woo, woo! You talking to me, Mike? Tagging me in the Sun Tea Challenge? What is the Sun Tea Challenge? LP, yes, pineapple sage. Get a mason jar and put about a third of it full with your pineapple sage leaves and pour in a little bit of distilled white vinegar and leave it a couple of weeks before you strain out the leaves. And then just sprinkle that on fruit salad or put a spoonful of it in regular tea. If you're going to use it in regular tea, use apple cider vinegar instead of white vinegar. I think you'll enjoy the flavor that it adds to your fruit salad. I know I do. I like it. Well, tell me what the Sun Tea Challenge is, and I'll rope Charlie into participating too, Mike. And then, yeah, I like a challenge. Why not? Snack time for Katie's. What's your snacking on, Katie? There are no rules to it, Mike? No, you don't refrigerate it. Leave it on your counter where you walk past it every day, LP, and shake it. But, Nikki, how do you use your pineapple sage? Oh, pineapple sage ice cream. How do you extract the flavor? I'm going to look up a recipe real quick before we do our fifth and final drawing. Let me look up all right, here's a very interesting idea for the fifth drawing. I have a very precious. Oh, she's snacking. Okay, I see, Adrian. Fisherman, welcome, welcome. We're doing our final drawing. Put it in the sun. So I guess we need to have a sunny day or two before I can do the sun iced tea. And I'll probably do this. Well, how do you judge it, Mike? Okay, Mike, would you send me an email and all that? Do you have to make a certain amount of sun tea? All right, here's my interesting idea. I have a very small amount, very precious amount of lemon verbena dried. Now, if you've never smelled lemon verbena, you're totally missing out. It's wonderful. I am willing for one lucky person to make a blend of lemon verbena with some of my other dried herbs, and I just looked up what it pairs well with. And it pairs well with basil, bergamot. I've got both of those dried. I don't think I'll mix it with black pepper. I do have cardamom leaves and cardamom spice. I do have lavender and peppermint and rose. All those flavors pair well with lemon verbena. I am willing to, now these are just, little bags I'm sending you, but it's enough for 2 or 3 loose leaf cups of tea. You use like a teaspoon per 8-ounce cup of boiling water. And of course, I'll send instructions on how to do that. So if you trust me with a spice blend of any of those flavors, and you win. If you don't like the flavors, I'll read them again after you've won. And you say, no, I don't want that in it. And I'll take notes and get those in the mail. Okay, so let's see how many people can spell verbena. If you're interested in the final drawing tonight, type in lemon verbena. It is 10:34 by my clock. I'll give you to 10:36 to think about lemon verbena. And go ahead and type it in. Let's see what kind of spellers we have here. Lemon verbena, LP, Suzanne, Tiffany, okay, I gotta go back and read those again. Lemon verbena, Tiffany, Dark Lord, Adrian. Charlie, count how many people are typing in lemon verbena, if you would. Yankee,
I got 6.
I've got 6 so far too. Hey, Katie, too bad you don't want some tea to relax from all that moving. Nikki, you don't want a chance on the lemon verbena mix? I'm drinking very healthy Diet Dr. Pepper Zero. Me and my health food, huh? Katie thinks tea's a bad idea. When did I say I was going to turn off the timer for lemon verbena? Was it 10:36 or 10:37, Charlie? Oh, good. Another Dr. Pepper person. Yeah, I know, but my ovaries are don't function anymore, Dark Lord, so I don't worry about aspartame. Is that it? Let me scroll. I'm surprised that David didn't jump in on that. Are you awake, David? How about you, Mike? Yankee Sister says she did the challenge. It was fun. What kind of tea did you make, Yankee Sister? I am scrolling. There's David. My ovaries still work. Stop giving them ideas. All right. As soon as this goes, one more minute. There it went. Okay, so no more lemon verbenas. Yeah, the diabetes is a bummer, Katie. I'm a bad diabetic. Okay, y'all ready for me to spin this wheel? Here we go. Dark Lord. All right. Now, Dark Lord, you won that one, and I'm going to read you some of the things to compare with that I actually have dried on the shelf. Hopefully you're familiar with the flavors of some of these things. I've got basil, bergamot, cardamom, either the leaves or the actual cardamom spice, lavender, and peppermint and rose. Any of those you do not want in it. Otherwise, trust me to put together a mix. What do you think? Okay, so no bergamot. I'm thinking I'll mix lavender with the lemon verbena, and then maybe, do you think cardamom, the pod, would be too strong with that, or would you rather have dried leaf with it? Well, that looks good, Yankee Sister. Okay, so I'm going to mix, just for you, Dark Lord, the lemon verbena with cardamom pods and lavender. And I'll just crumble that roughly together, and it'll be up to you whether you want to put it through a spice grinder or just use it, with a teaspoon with the whole leaves. So that'll be a custom blend. And would you do me a favor, and once you've tried it, during one of my lives, would you come in and talk about, did you like it? What did you not like about it? And we can talk about them. Maybe for my herb lecture, the first live in August, you can talk about it, and then we'll talk about medicinally what those 3 herbs together can do for your body. Darkler says, going on video. You like loose tea? Yeah, we have several tea balls. But some upcoming videos to look for. I've got 2 separate videos on tomato jam. One that Charlie made, one that I made. That's in the editing studio now. I just haven't had time to finish up on those. We're making a tandoor oven in the backyard, and I'm going to start releasing those videos bit by bit. It's the tandoor is probably a third of the actual size is actually put down, but there's quite a process of putting it together. So we've got those videos upcoming, and of course I'll do little garden walkthroughs here and there. I want to thank you all for coming in. It's been wonderful. It's always wonderful to have you here talking about our gardens and herbs and things like that. So if you have any ideas for videos, let me know. Shoot me an email if you have ideas for live topics. I'm still trying to get some professors from the agricultural colleges to come on with me and talk about how to combat the climate change and plan your gardens around these weird climate events. But I haven't found anyone that was brave enough to actually do it. It might also be because we're still so small. So share my videos, thumbs up, whatever. Let's grow these videos, grow this channel so that the people think we're important enough to spend time with us and talk about issues that we all worry about. So again, thank you so much for coming. We'll see you the first week of August for the next live. And until then, look for my weird little shorts and videos. And I love you all. Thanks for being here. See ya.